My mother-in-law's ultimatum. The champagne flute shattered against the hardwood floor, a jagged scream of glass that silenced the room. My mother-in-law, Evelyn, stood rigid, her lips a thin slash of crimson, her eyes boring into mine like twin daggers. The air in the dining room thickened, heavy with the scent of roasted lamb and unspoken accusations. Around us, the family, gathered for the rehearsal dinner, froze, their forks suspended, their breaths caught. My husband, David, reached for my hand under the table, but his fingers trembled, betraying a secret I hadn't yet grasped. "You have until the wedding tomorrow to decide," Evelyn said, her voice low, venomous, slicing through the clink of cutlery and the hum of nervous whispers. "Tell the truth, or I will." My stomach lurched. The truth. What truth? The room spun, the crystal chandelier above blurring into a kaleidoscope of light. I forced a smile, the kind that stings like a paper cut, and glanced at David. His face was pale, his jaw tight, but his eyes darted away, fleeing to some distant corner of the room. That fleeting avoidance. It was the first crack in the foundation of our marriage, a hairline fracture I could no longer ignore. The evening unraveled from there, but the warning signs had been there for weeks, hadn't they? Subtle, like the faint creak of floorboards in an empty house. David's late nights at the office. His phone angled just out of my view. The way his laughter felt hollow when we talked about the future. I'd chalked it up to stress. Planning his sister's wedding, managing his mother's expectations, juggling our own lives. But now, Evelyn's words hung like smoke, choking out reason. What did she know? And why did David's hand, still gripping mine, feel like a stranger's? Later, in the guest bedroom of Evelyn's sprawling estate, I paced the Persian rug, its intricate patterns dizzying under my bare feet. The house was quiet now, the guests gone, but the silence was oppressive, thick with secrets. David sat on the edge of the bed. His tie loosened, his shoulders slumped. "She's just being dramatic," he said, his voice thin, unconvincing. "You know how she gets before big events." I stopped pacing, my heart pounding like a trapped animal. "What's the truth she's talking about, David?" My voice cracked, raw with a fear I hadn't yet named. I wanted him to laugh, to pull me into his arms, to dismiss it all as his mother's theatrics. But he didn't. He stared at the floor, his silence louder than any confession. "I don't know," he said finally, but the lie was in the way his hands fidgeted, the way his eyes refused to meet mine. I felt the room tilt, the walls closing in, the air sharp with a metallic tang of betrayal. Sleep was impossible. I lay beside him, listening to the steady rhythm of his breathing, each exhale a reminder of the life we'd built, 5 years of love, of promises, of shared dreams. But now rectangular windows glowed faintly with dawn, and I slipped out, wrapping myself in a coat. The garden was a maze of roses and ivy, their thorns glinting with dew. I sat on a stone bench, clutching my phone, my thumb hovering over a number I hadn't called in months. Lila, my best friend, the one person who could always see through my defenses. When I called, her voice was warm but sharp. "You sound like hell, Sarah. What's wrong?" I told her everything. Evelyn's ultimatum, David's evasion, the sickening dread twisting my gut. Lila listened, then said, "You need to confront him. Alone. No audience, no distractions. If he's hiding something, you'll see it in his eyes." The thought of it made my chest ache, but I knew she was right. I returned to the house, my resolve hardening like ice. David was in the kitchen, nursing a coffee, his face shadowed with exhaustion. "We need to talk," I said, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. He nodded, setting the mug down with a clink. We stepped outside, the morning air crisp, the lawn glittering with frost. "What's going on, David?" I asked, my arms crossed, shielding myself from the answer I feared. "What does your mother know that I don't?" His eyes flickered with something, guilt, shame, fear. Before he spoke, "It's nothing. She's blowing things out of proportion. Stop lying." The words burst out, louder than I'd meant, and a flock of birds scattered from a nearby tree. "You've been distant for months. The late nights, the locked phone, the way you flinch when I touch you sometimes. And now this. Tell me, David. What did you do? He ran a hand through his hair, his breath ragged. Sarah, I love you. You have to believe that. Then why does it feel like you're slipping away? My voice broke, tears burning my eyes. What's the truth Evelyn's threatening to expose? He paced, his shoes crunching on the gravel path. It was a mistake, he whispered, so softly I almost missed it. A stupid, drunken mistake. The world stopped. My heart thudded, a dull roar in my ears. A mistake. I echoed, my voice hollow. With who? He looked at me then, his eyes red, glistening. It was one night. At the conference in Chicago. I was stressed and she was there and it just happened. She. The word tasted like ash. Who, David? He swallowed hard. Lila. The name hit like a fist, knocking the air from my lungs. Layla. My best friend. The one I'd just poured my heart out to. The betrayal was a double-edged blade, slicing through trust I'd thought unbreakable. I stumbled back, the ground unsteady beneath me. How could you? I whispered. Both of you. I'm so sorry, he said, stepping toward me, but I held up a hand, stopping him. It meant nothing. I swear, Sarah, it was a mistake. A mistake. I laughed, a bitter, jagged sound. You slept with my best friend, and you call it a mistake? How long have you been lying to me? Since June, he admitted, his voice breaking. I wanted to tell you, but I couldn't bear to hurt you. I love you, Sarah. I've been trying to fix this to be better. And Lila? I demanded, my nails digging into my palms. What's her excuse? She feels awful, he said. She wanted to tell you too, but we agreed it would only hurt you more. The weight of their deceit crushed me, yet a strange clarity emerged. I thought of Evelyn's ultimatum, her cold certainty. She'd known, somehow she'd found out. And now she was forcing my hand, demanding I face the truth before the wedding, before I stood before a crowd and played the happy wife. I turned away, staring at the horizon where the sun bled gold into the sky. I need time, I said, my voice a ghost of itself. Don't follow me. I walked until I reached the edge of the estate, where a small pond shimmered under the rising light. My reflection stared back, fractured by ripples, unrecognizable. I thought of Lila's voice on the phone, her concern, her lies. I thought of David's touch, once my anchor, now a betrayal. And Evelyn. Had her ultimatum been cruelty or mercy? I pulled out my phone and dialed Lila. Sarah, she answered, her tone bright, oblivious. You okay? No, I said, my voice steel. I know about you and David. The silence on the other end was deafening. Then a sob. Oh God, Sarah, I'm so sorry. It was a mistake, I swear. Save it, I cut her off. You both made your choices. I hung up, my hands shaking. The wedding loomed hours away, a public stage for my private devastation. I could walk away, let Evelyn expose them, let the family implode in whispers and scandal. Or I could stay, smile through the pain, and decide my future on my own terms. Chose neither. Instead, I returned to the house, packed a single bag, and left a note for David. You broke us. I need to find myself again. As I drove away, the estate shrinking in my rearview mirror, a strange relief bloomed amidst the heartbreak. The truth had shattered me, but it had also set me free.